This episode of Just Informed Talk, the liberal left lunacy has reached a fever pitch where the mere accusation, an uncorroborated one at that, can be used as predicate for an FBI investigation and a presumption of guilt over innocence. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. I always start the same way by saying thank you to all my subscribers because I truly am thankful. If you haven't done it, please come here to the landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified. So, today we're just going to talk about this one Q post. It's really important, I think, to go over this, and we'll talk about the Q post first, then we'll talk a little bit about Judge Kavanaugh and what's going on there, and then that'll basically wrap it up. So should be hopefully a pretty quick video. You guys know me, I say that, but maybe we actually might get one like that today. But it says, Democrats playbook, midterm election. We will impeach Justice K. Zero corroborating evidence and all factual witnesses provided by accuser, all denied allegations, should we take control in November. Liberal left lunacy bait. These people are evil, sick, and stupid. You are watching, witnessing the systematic destruction of the old guard to power to the people, Red October Q. So guys, this one's pretty easy. It's self-explanatory, but this is their playbook. Q's giving us an inside look at the Democrats' playbook, and this is why we've been forced to call another investigation, as Donald Trump says here. This is his latest tweet saying, we just started tonight our 7th FBI investigation of Judge Brett Kavanaugh. He will someday be recognized as a truly great justice of the United States Supreme Court. And yeah, so we've had to start that because basically their new playbook is that even if we were to go through and confirm Kavanaugh, right? So say we had the votes and we were going to go through and do it, they would call for an impeachment based off of uncorroborated, unsubstantiated, unverified accusations that were made by a woman who seems that, probably had some pretty bad stuff happen to her, but there's no proof to say it was Judge Kavanaugh that did it. And all of the evidence that has been shown and provided would indicate the exact opposite, that Judge Kavanaugh would not be the type of person who would be able to do something like this or likely to do something like this, which the accusation is that she was forced into a room and held down for a brief moment and then groped or fondled and then allowed to leave, basically. So the accusation in and of itself is, it's 30 plus years old, and she doesn't, you got to remember, this woman, Professor Ford, she doesn't remember where. She doesn't remember when. She gave names of individuals who were there who have all signed affidavits stating that they weren't there, basically, and that it never happened. And that's the entire premise for this whole delay, this obstruction of the nomination and confirmation, or the confirmation, I should say, of Judge Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. But you have to understand that, in my opinion, we're dealing with toddlers now. You have the political bosses, the Feinsteins and the Schumers and all that, running their little game, right? Because they're the authoritarians who control their party. But then it disseminates down to these resistance activists who are just, I cannot tell you how incredibly frustrating it is to listen to some of these people speak, especially when you see them protesting on Capitol Hill. Because I've seen so many videos where there's these large group of protesters and they have their little fists up in the air and they're saying, resist, and we believe accusers, and, we believe Dr. Ford, and so on and so forth. But when you walk up to them, try to have a conversation, that's all they can say. They can't have a real conversation or debate because because when they're presented with real facts, when they're presented with the reality of the situation, they just put their fingers in their ears and go la 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 la, because that is the level of intelligence and maturity we're dealing with here with these individuals. I'm sickened as an American, a patriot. I love my country, but it sickens me to see such ignorant and such uneducated people out fighting for causes that they don't understand, and that they're being, and it's not even that I'm mad at them. I'm mad at the people who are using them. I'm mad at the organizers. I'm mad at when you try to have a conversation and open somebody's mind to the fact that, these accusations are baseless, uncorroborated, and that's not how our judicial system works, where you can't just throw an accusation out and then provide no evidence to back it up and then expect there to be an FBI investigation and that, the guy's presumed guilty as opposed to being presumed innocent. So you try to tell these people, you say, what about the presumption of innocence? What about due process? What about affording Judge Kavanaugh and his family the decency to not drag his name through the mud before there's any facts that prove that what he's been accused of is true? So their response to that is, we believe accusers. She has no reason to lie. She's completely honest and trustworthy. And they've weaponized the hashtag Me Too movement. And that is terrifying because now there's no presumption of innocence. If somebody makes an allegation against you or your dad or your brother or your husband or your son, because that person is of the opposite sex, let's say it's a woman who says, they did something to her. Who cares about court? Who cares about evidence? Who cares about due process? Who cares about our justice system? You're guilty. You're guilty because you've been accused. And that precedent is so dangerous that most of these people, I believe, have no idea the damage that they're doing to our country by going up on Capitol Hill and making these incredibly I think it's embarrassing for them, and it's embarrassing for our country, really, to watch these people make these protests and signs that say, we believe accusers and Kavanaugh, and, we're not going to let this happen. Because they're being played. First of all, that's their belief. They're literally brainwashed zombies who can't be reasoned with for the most part. And if you do even get the chance to reason with them, like I was saying before, you have their little handlers, their little group leaders come over and say, oh no, don't talk to that person. Oh no, don't engage. That's their thing. Don't engage. What? Don't engage in debate. Don't engage in discourse. Don't engage in logical thinking or critical thought. I mean, that's literally the level of insanity we're dealing with. We're dealing with toddlers who are being controlled by political bosses. And what do these political bosses want? What are their ends? Well, their ends are quite simple. You have the Feinsteins and the other members of the committee. I mean, if you look at all of them, look at, Jeff Flake and Murkowski and all them, they're being controlled in the sense that the bosses like Feinstein are forcing them to delay this because it's all about power. It's all about the fact that if we have Justice Kavanaugh in the Supreme Court, I believe personally that he knows so much, and he was so right to say that this was basically a political hit job put out by the Clintons and by the Democrats, and that this has all been set up to defame him, demoralize him, and intimidate him out of wanting and pursuing a career as a Supreme Court justice in the United States, because they realize that Kavanaugh knows what is going on. All you have to do is look back in that last video, right? And I should mention this for those of you who don't know, if you want to get caught up, watch these last videos, but especially watch this video, because we talk about Lindsey Graham and how Lindsey Graham basically comes and says, military, if you commit an act and you abet a foreigner in subverting our country or to target our country to do something negative, like what Hillary did with the Chinese, it would seem, allegedly, with the emails being, according to certain reports, being forwarded in real time, and then you have the evidence that or the story that came out about the 10 or 18 to 20 CIA operatives who were either imprisoned or killed based off of possibly information that was obtained through Hillary Clinton's emails. That kind of stuff can be brought to a military tribunal and they can be tried, and it's treason. I mean, it's high treason. If you are giving secrets that are causing Americans to die to foreign adversaries like China, that to me is what they're terrified of. And it would have to work with the Supreme Court being able to judge on it, because you would think that something of that level and magnitude will go to the Supreme Court. And right now, they're terrified of a couple things. That, having Justice Kavanaugh there for that particular reason, and then also the abortion issue. And I don't care what anyone says. You're never going to change my mind. You're entitled to think whatever you like. I'm not going to try to tell you anything other than what I believe, which is that abortion is murder, but it's so much more than that. It's an industry. They have made a corporate industry out of basically murdering children and then selling their corpses to individuals who use it for things that you couldn't even imagine. And it's a sick and it's a despicable practice, and it's the worst kind of evil you can imagine. But these are the things they're terrified of. That's why they don't care about destroying Kavanaugh. They don't care about destroying his family and his perception or his public persona. They don't care about that. They'll drag him through the mud. They'll call him evil. They'll say he's guilty without any evidence, and they don't care that they're destroying our republic. They're destroying the democratic processes within our republic that are meant to protect the innocent and meant to defend those who cannot defend themselves. But when you have these violent, crazy, fascist mobs running around the streets, ignoring all attempts to reason with logic, they ignore it and they go based off of their marching orders. They're literally the modern day brown shirts running around our streets, shutting down anyone who disagrees with their leader, their Führer, Schumer and Feinstein. So that's where we've come to. And yesterday on Twitter, I was basically going at it, saying, this is disgusting. And I was saying that we should be ashamed of these senators, especially Flake, Murkowski, and Collins, for what they've done. They're complicit in a coordinated effort to resist and obstruct the will of the American people. So, and they've betrayed the American people by doing this. But then Q's telling us that if we don't have this investigation, they were going to try to impeach him anyway. So I guess they didn't have a choice either, right? But they're trying to delay. They're trying to keep this from going forward. They're trying to delay past the midterm elections because their hope is they can get a majority in the Senate or in the House, and then they can basically overturn it and not allow that seat to be filled until 2020, and then they can filibuster more and obstruct even more until they get their way and get their person back in office so that they can control the courts. Because they want to make things legal that should be illegal, in my opinion. But what I was also saying here is, to be clear, it's not President Trump's fault, and I don't think that we should have this expectation that President Trump or Q, because everybody says trust the plan. Yes, I trust the plan, but we shouldn't have this expectation that President Trump should become one of these authoritarian political bosses that we are trying to expose and get rid of. See, that's the dangerous, the slippery slope on our side that we have to make sure we don't slide into, to have this expectation of President Trump to become some sort of authoritarian ruler who forces democratically elected individuals, representatives in Congress, to do what he wants. Now, that's the whole point of our democracy, or our republic, and our democratic process, is to have individuals, representatives inside who are able to make their own decisions, and then if you don't like it, you vote them out. So it's not for President Trump to do. All President Trump can basically do is give his opinion and say, this is what I think you should do. I think it's wrong. I think it's terrible what's happening to Judge Kavanaugh. But it's up to we, the people, to really get involved in this process and say, this is wrong. This has to stop. This is the destruction of due process, the destruction of the presumption of innocence. It's literally everything that we should be terrified of as a country, because if we let this mob rule continue, we're going to end up paying for it, and the consequences are going to be very big. And it's funny that the left think that it's not going to affect them and it's not going to be a problem for them because, now they're on the winning side of it, or they're on the positive side of it. But rest assured, it's us today, it'll be them tomorrow, and then it'll be a terrible, terrible set of consequences that'll come out of this incredible miscarriage of justice. Using, baseless, uncorroborated accusations as a predicate for an investigation is exactly what the FBI did to President Trump. And if you can't see the parallels in that, if you can't understand that the way that the FBI was used by the Obama administration, the Clinton and the DNC and her Clinton campaign to basically weaponize uncorroborated information and use it as a means to spy on and to obstruct your political adversaries, then you're not looking at this clearly, I don't think. And it's the same thing that's happening right now. So they have a playbook and they keep doing it, and that's what Q's talking about. So yeah, that's where we're at. The people are sick and stupid and evil. And this is the systematic destruction of the old guard. That's why you see they're going down with the fight. They're not going to allow this to happen if they can at all stop it. Meaning putting Judge Kavanaugh on the court. And that's where we're at right now. So I really, I just wanted to get this video out there. I wanted to share with you guys my opinion And yeah, it's just sick and it's sad and it's really unfortunate. So hopefully that wasn't too long. Yeah, thank you all for watching. A couple more things before we go. If you guys haven't already, please come here, click the big red subscribe button. It helps the channel out more than you guys will know. It's free for you. It's like throwing me a buck. Helps the channel out big time, and it lets the people know that you're watching, you're aware, you know what's going on. So come here and click that subscribe button if you haven't. Watch these videos and share them also. And don't forget to leave your comments, leave your thoughts, theories, and insights down at the bottom of this video because I want to hear what you guys have to think about this. And that is definitely the way we work here is we listen to each other and we make very, very thoughtful discussion down there. So even if you can't comment, scroll down and comment. Also, you can come over here and find me at Justin_formed on Twitter. Again, that's the Twitter handle is at Justin_formed. And when you come here, click that follow button. All my articles get posted here, all from the website. All of the videos get posted from YouTube, and you get all my cool little tweets, and you guys can interact with me, and we can have a conversation over here. And when you said if you're saying what website, it's this website right here. Go to justinformednews.com, and you can check out the website. This is the official website for Just Informed Talk, where you get more Just Informed Talk with articles I write and different information that's posted over here. So if you guys want to check that out, I encourage you to come do that. Also, there are a couple more ways you can help out the channel, and they're both financial. First, you can go over here to Patreon. That's patreon.com. And when you come here, you just click the search here and type Just Informed Talk in. You'll come to this page. Click this button to become a patron. It's a monthly donation, and you guys are what keep this channel running. You're what help allow me to do this without any worries about demonetization through YouTube. You allow me to do this 24/7, 365 through your support here on Patreon. It's a monthly donation. You just set it up. You can give as little as $1, as much as you want. You just set it and forget it, and it allows me and gives me the freedom to keep creating content 24/7, 365 for you guys. So I can't tell you how thankful I am for everyone who's come over here and become a patron. And if you're not into the whole monthly donation, I totally understand. That's why I set up this GoFundMe page. It's for if you want to support the channel, but you don't want to do the monthly thing. And if you're thinking you want to do something anonymous or a one-time donation, this is where you'll go. You'll go to GoFundMe.com/just-informed. Click the donate now button. Once you do that, it's really easy. You can make a one-time donation or an anonymous donation or a one-time anonymous donation. Leave me a message and show your support for the channel there. So that's definitely great, and I'm thankful for that. Now, before we sign off, I always take a second at the end of these videos to talk about God's grace and how it's greater. So in this one, I'm going to talk about a psalm. It's Psalm 20. And it seems so appropriate as we are in this battle against, basically evil. It's evil to treat people the way that Judge Kavanaugh's been treated. It's evil to have these mindless zombies out protesting. We're just in a battle against some really, really mostly it's just misguided individuals who are being controlled and coerced by outside forces that are very evil. But this is an important, it's kind of like a prayer for deliverance in battle. And this is where we're at. So I want to share this with you. It's Psalm 20. It says, "May the Lord answer you in a day of trouble. May the name of Jacob's God protect you. May he send you help from the sanctuary and sustain you from Zion. May he remember all your offerings and accept your burnt offering. May he give you what your heart desires and fulfill your whole purpose. Let us shout for joy at your victory and lift the banner in the name of our God. May the Lord fulfill all your requests. Now I know that the Lord gives victory to his anointed. He will answer him from his holy heaven with mighty victories from his right hand. Some take pride in a chariot and others in horses, but we take pride in the name of the Lord our God. They collapse and fall, but we rise and stand firm. Lord, give victory to the King. May he answer us on the day that we call." And that's it. That's a simple prayer I want to share with you guys. I believe that that's so powerful because that's all we can do. We besides using our own logic and our own facts and having discourse, and we can even go and protest, and we can or counter protest and say, you're wrong, let's have a debate. These are all things we can do, but the most important and the most effective thing we can do is pray. is look to God, is ask God to come into our hearts and to fortify our will and to fortify our knowledge in our righteousness, because God is the ultimate ally. There's nothing greater than God. There's no one greater than God, and we have to put our faith and our hopes in God, in our Lord and Savior Jesus, and understand that our deliverance is far more important. Our eternal salvation is far more important than the things that happen here in this world. But while we're here on this world, we are backed by our Lord and Savior as long as we call to him in our time of need, and especially when we're going up against such great evil. All we can do is call to God and have him give us the strength and the courage and the wisdom to fight this, and to fight it in the right way, to fight it in a Christian way, where we are loving our enemies, and we're doing our best to understand and to, you know, come to a solution that factors in that God is the most important aspect of all of this. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I want to say thank you, and you guys let me know what you think down in the description as always. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, now's a great time to do it. Come here, click the big red subscribe button. But see, we read a relatively short video. So thank you all for watching Just Informed Talk. I'm sure there'll be more posts, so there'll be more videos, and even if there aren't, we always cover we always cover the news the mainstream media won't cover. So again, thank you for watching Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.